Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone, and to our televiewers in our YouTube account, DPWH second DEO. This morning, we will be conducting a big conference on the following contract ID numbers: 24TF 0058, 24TF 0067, and 24TF 0069. But before we formally start this private conference, may I request everyone for a silent prayer, after which is the roll call of attendance by Engineer Hamima M. Santori. Good morning, everyone, and to our televiewers. For the attendees of this private conference, from the bank members, the Chief of Administrative Section, Bank Chairperson, Ma'am Naima Puscar, present. The Chief of Quality Assurance Section, Bank Regular Member, Sir Aminuddin Sami. The Chief of Construction Section, Bank Provisional Member, Sir Waida Bakar. The Chief of Planning and Design Section, Bank Provisional Member, Sir Lito Lactuan. Yours truly, Hamima Santori, OIC Head, Procurement Staff. Present. Johanny Mamayde, Head, Bank PWH. Present. Abdul Junaldi Expander, Member, Bank PWH. Pihan Nakabando, Member, Bank PWH.
Present.
Muhammad Shar Momar, Member, Bank PWH.
Present.
Annabelle Quinones, Member, Bank Secretary. Present. Suhura Bani, Member, Bank Secretary. Present. Nashiba Makarungkun, Member, Bank Secretary. Present. Elizabeth Valencia, Member, Bank Secretary. Present. And Mira Jamil, Member, Bank Secretary. Present. And Ronette John Fabre, Member, Bank Secretary. And we have no attendees from the participating leaders and observers. And that's all for the attendees. Thank you. This private conference is conducted pursuant to RA 9184 under Section 22.3, which requires the procuring entity to conduct private conference mainly to discuss, clarify, and explain about the eligibility requirement, technical component, and financial component of the contract to be bid. Among others, it also includes the discussion of activities and the awarding of contracts once the project is bid. Importantly, this is the right time for questions and clarifications from the prospective bidders before the conduct of the opening of bids. Since the BAC members are in quorum, we may now start to discuss the following: contract data, technical and financial proposals, eligibility requirements, and awarding of contract. Good morning. For the contract data, the first contract
ID number 24K-58, Basic Infrastructure Program, multi-purpose building facilities to support social services, construction of multi-purpose building, location at Barangay Tipaan, Magsaysay, Lanao. Scope of works, facilities for the engineer, other general requirements, civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works, earthworks, clean and enforce concrete works, finishing and other works, electrical works, and mechanical works. With an approved budget for the contract of 4,943,906 pesos and 53 cents, which consists duration of 125 calendar days, and the cost of bidding documents is 5,000. Next contract, 24K-067, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, multi-purpose buildings, facilities to support social services, construction of multi-purpose facility, location at Barangay Suso, Kapatagan, Lanao Del Norte. Scope of works, facilities for the engineers, other general requirements, civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works, earthworks, laying and reinforced concrete works, finishing on other works, and electrical works, with an upper budget of the contract of 4,899,778 pesos and 76 cents, with a contract duration of 120 calendar days, and cost of bidding document is 5,000. Next contract, 24K-069, completing of Barangay Dimayon, MR, Pantao Market Road, station kilometer of 0+00 to station kilometer 0+518. Location at Barangay Dimayon, Pantao, Ragat, Lanao Del Norte. Scope of works, facilities for the engineers, agricultural departments, networks, surveys and discourse, surface courses, drainage and soil protection structures, and civil structures. Then upper value for a contract of 10,925,927 pesos and 55 cents. The contract duration of 132 calendar days, and the cost of the document is 11,000. That's all for the contract.
For the components of technical and financial proposal, bids are submitted simultaneously into separate envelopes. First envelope contains the technical bid component, including the eligibility docs, technical requirements, and if any Class B documents. On the other hand, the second envelope shall contain the financial bid component. Kindly provide at least 2 copies of your proposal. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically. This is our new checklist as of October 2021. Our technical component has 3 kinds of document. The first one is the valid FairJEP certificate for platinum membership, or the SEC, DTI or CDA, mayor's or business permit, tax clearance per EO 398 series of 2005. To those not enrolled in CWA, kindly notify us and our central office for your application. The CWA refers to a software application to register contractors' information and to determine the eligibility of contractors for civil work projects. If not enrolled in CWA, attach the Class A and Class B documents not covered by FairJEP's certificate. The second document is the technical component. The first one is the Class A documents, which contains the statement of ongoing government and private contracts, including contract awarded but not yet started, SLCC, pickup license, bid security or bid securing declaration, notarized. The Class B documents for joint venture, valid joint venture agreement, registration for the type and contract to be bid, and the special pickup license itself. Class A and Class B documents, if any, are to be updated if enrolled in CWA. There are 4 acceptable forms of bid security. The first one is the cash or cashier's manager's check, which is 2% of the ABC to be bid. The second is the bank guarantee draft or irrevocable LC, which is also 2% of the ABC to be bid. Third is the surety bond callable upon demand, 5% of the ABC to be bid. And lastly, The bid securing declaration, no percentage required. Please be reminded, we do have revised form of the bid securing declaration as per the MC 85 series of 2020. The next is the project requirements, which contains the organizational chart, list of contractors' key personnel, list of contractors' equipment, the omnibus sworn statement, if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the GB giving full power and authority to its office to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. The last kind of documents for the technical proposal is the financial documents, which contains the audited financial statements and the net financial contracting capacity computed, the bid form, the summary of bid prices and bill of quantities, detailed estimate including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates and equipment rental used, coming up with the bid and the cash flow by quarter.
For the criteria of eligibility processing, bid evaluation, post-qualification, the BAC will emphasize that all procurement will be done in accordance with 9184 and under Article 4, Section 10 of the said RA and National Procurement Manual 67,012. All procurement is done through competitive bidding. We encourage our bidders to follow this DEO 51 series of 2010, which requires all contractors doing business in our department to be registered in CWR system. Contractors, kindly always monitor and update your documents. Expired CPA files will affect your eligibility results. Make it a habit to attach your Class A and Class B documents. BAC assumes no responsibility for the contractor's lapses, for all format needed are as always been provided. If happen, you cannot access our two websites, the PhilJobs and the department website, you can always visit our office. As mentioned earlier, one of the component of the technical proposal is the PhilJobs, which is a 3-page document. Be reminded, missing one or two of each page will be automatically disqualified. DTI certificate for sole proprietorship and SEC or CDA for corporation. Mayor's permit, renewable every end of the year. Next, tax clearance, renewable every year. Next, statement of ongoing government and private contract. Kindly attach your CRC or NOAA contract and NTP to support this document. SLCC, attach your CRC or contract, NOAA, NTP, COC, and certificate of final inspection to support this document. Be reminded, SLCC should be greater than 50% of the ABC to be bid. Next, PCAB, renewable every year and not valid until your signature is affixed at the topmost right of this document. Next, bid securing declaration. Kindly check the DMC 85 series of 2020 for the revised form. Revised form of our bid securing declaration. It should be signed and authorized. Automatic mo next. Next, organizational chart. Our district usually requires 6 to 8 personnel per project, depending on the project profile to be bid, mainly PM, PE, ME, lab tech, foreman, safety officer, and or survey engineer and quantity engineer. It is a requirement to fix the TIN of your PM, PE, ME, and PE under individual affidavit of personnel, and to attach the updated PRC ID of your PE and the updated ME certificate of your ME. Make sure your ME only works for you. If happen to be caught that he or she is working for the other firm, you will be disqualified. Redundant personnel means disqualification. As per the required personnel for these projects, kindly see our bid data sheet. Moreover, list of K personnel shall be supported with a signed and authorized affidavit for each required personnel. Their individual affidavits shall contain necessary data of the personnel concerned and its log of experiences, especially for PM, PE, and ME. Make sure that the information of the both documents will coincide with each other. Next, list of equipment with proof of ownership or required equipments to be pledged shall be mentioned in the list of equipment. On and leased equipments shall be categorized properly. Be mindful on the unit required for each equipment. Always indicate the plate, motor, body, or serial number of the pledged equipment, its location and condition. Kindly indicate properly the kind of ownership you have for each equipment. If it is owned with ORCR, lease, deed of sale, or official receipt. All proof of ownership attached shall be clear and readable. As per the required equipment for these projects, kindly see our bid data sheet. We will emphasize again, if happen to lease an equipment, you are still required to attach your updated ORCR of the said equipment. Your lease contract agreement shall be notarized and signed by the both lessor and lessee with at least 2 witnesses. Next, Omnibus Warrant Statement 1 to 10 na po as per the MC 85 series of 2020. Next, ITR and AFS shall be duly signed and stamp received by BR with signature and date. Next, NFCC. Be reminded, NFCC shall be greater than the ABC to be bid. Next, all bidders are advised to visit the QA section to secure the certificate issued by the QA chief. Next, as per DEO 11 series of 2017, inclusion of a minimum material testing equipment in the technical component of bid. Considering the materials testing equipment are essential during the construction stage of the project, it shall therefore be included in the technical requirement of the bid, together with the other major equipment of the as contained in the technical envelope, which shall be subjected to primary examination and further verified during the post-qualification stage. Next, affidavit of site inspection. This is not part of the standard checklist. However, the district advised the bidders to conduct site inspection ahead of time to ensure the actual condition of the site. This is done not just to avoid problem in the project implementation, but also give you and the district time to clarify all concerns. You are given not later than 7 calendar days before the opening of bids for your clarification, and the revision will be posted either as bid bulletin, bid supplemental, or as a notice. If you're into joint venture, an original special contractor's license issued by the PCAP shall be provided. Photocopied special license is discouraged. The original special contractor's license issued by the PCAP shall be supported with the original joint venture agreement. It should be signed and authorized. Herein, the name of the both parties shall be indicated including their percentages. Also, both parties shall affix their signature in this agreement with at least 2 witnesses. Next, typical component of the financial proposal. As per the bid form, can we also refer the MC 85 series of 2020 for the new formats. Bids above ABC will be automatically disqualified. In the BOQ, avoid rounding off the quantities cited in the bid docs. Along with the BOQ, a summary of bids will be attached. In detailed estimate, kindly avoid lump sum item upon estimating. Lastly, the fourth component of the financial proposal, cash flow by quarters. As additional reminder, first, all notarized documents shall be filled up with updated community tax certificate of the proprietor. Second, all documents on the bid proposal shall be clear and readable. Third, a fixed initial on every page. Fourth, tabbing and pagination in bids pre-proposal shall be observed. And lastly, kindly use A4 size paper. The issuance of bid docs is ongoing until April 15 of 2024. And at 2 p.m. of April 15, opening of bids will be held at this conference room.
For the three-strike policy, as per DO 28 series of 2024, the DPWH introduces an updated three-strike policy. This policy is aimed at enforcing adherence to the procurement guidelines stipulated under Section 69.1.I of the 2016 Revised Implementation Rules and Regulations of RA 9184. Under this policy, if a bidder commits 3 offenses or acts described as all other acts that tend to defeat the purpose of competitive bidding, they shall be subjected to an administrative penalty. These offenses or acts are further classified into 3 major categories as follows. First is the withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of a non-participation letter, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. Second is the submission of late bids without valid reasons as determined by the BAC. And third is the submission of patently insufficient bid. Patently insufficient bid is refers to a bid that fails to include or comply with certain mandatory requirements. The determination of whether a bidder committed such an offense may occur as outlined. First is during eligibility screening and or shortlisting. First is the submission of expired field trips registration or a field trip certification contain expired Class A, legal and financial documents. Second is the failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae in the application for eligibility and shortlisting, which are evaluated during the shortlisting for consulting services projects. Second, during bid evaluation, failure to submit required bid forms as outlined in Annex C, detailing the complete list of required bid forms, the submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion and or omission of mandatory provisions and statements for the required bid forms as per Annex C, outlining the mandatory provisions of required forms, and submission of an unauthorized bid securing declaration, an omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement, or statements from all the potential joint venture partners with the exception during the declaration of state of calamity or implementation of community quarantine or similar restrictions declared or being implemented either in the locality of the procuring entity or of the bidder. Next is the submission of the bid form, price schedules, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder of its authorized representative. Next is the nomination of key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents, or in the case of consulting services, proposing a key personnel whose educational background is different from the required by the TOR. Next is failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of pledged equipment. Next is failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order number 9 series of 2012, or in the case of consulting services projects, failure to submit certifications as required by the TOR. Next is failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment as stated in the bidding documents. Next is during post-qualification. Participation in bidding for consulting services or goods and services contracts by a bidder whose business type category as indicated on the mayor's permit does not match or unrelated to the contract being bid. Second is participation in bidding for infrastructure projects by a bidder whose allowable range of contract cost or ARCC as indicated on the PCAB license does not match with the specific requirements of the infrastructure project being bid in terms of category, classification, and size ranges. That's all for the 3-strike policy.
Before the awarding of contract, we will remind the bidders on the Department Order number 115 series of 2021, which subject for the enhancing the specific policy guidelines under the provision of DEO 88 series of 2012, with subject imposition of sanctions on contractors and DPWH implementing officials for failure to undertake repair works for any damage to the project within the defects liability period prior to the issuance of certificate of acceptance. The focus of the above-mentioned DEO states that in order to compel the contractors to apply for the issuance of certificate of final acceptance, the following measures should be adopted by the DPWH implementing offices. Thus, non-submittal of warranty certificates should be a ground for the disqualification of contractors during the post-qualification process of their currently bid out projects. Projects without certificate of final acceptance should be reflected in the contractor's information profile. And thus, during the procurement process, the contractor should be required to include authenticated copies of certificate of final acceptance of their completed projects prior to the issuance of the notice of award.
After determining the lowest calculated responsive bidder or the LCRB, the procuring entity shall issue an award to the said LCRB and within 10 calendar days from receipt of the notice of award, the following documents shall be submitted by the winning bidder. First, notice of award with the bidder signed concurrent. Next is for a joint venture, contractor's take-up license, special JV license and JV agreement. Next is performance security in any of the forms specified in instructions to the bidders. Next, construction methods. Construction schedule in the form of CPM diagram or precedence diagram and bar chart with S-curve and cash flow. Next, professional regulatory commission, the RC license number, and tax identification number or the TIN of each due personnel. This is manpower schedule, equipment and utilization schedule, construction safety and health program, contractors all risk insurance or the carry, latest income tax and business returns duly stamped and received by the BIR and duly validated with the tax payments made, tax clearance from the BIR to prove full and timely payment of taxes. Now, local contractor certification under oath stating that the contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. And the last is the anti-thief management plan. And for performance security, the performance security shall be in an amount not less than the required percentage of the total contract price in accordance with the following schedule. First is the cash or cashier's manager's check issued by the Universal or Commercial Bank. The amount of performance security for infrastructure project is 10%. Next is bank draft guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a Universal or Commercial Bank provided however that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a universal or commercial bank and issued foreign bank. Also 10% for infrastructure project. Next is the surety bond for Laban Liman issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission or as authorized to issue such security. The amount is 30%. That's all for
Thank you. Since all contract data, eligibility requirements, technical and financial components, including award, are all discussed, this pre-bid conference is now open for question and clarification from our leaders. Since there is no attendees from the leaders, may I request Engineer Bacaro for the adjournment of this pre-bid conference.
I move for the adjournment of this pre-bid conference.
I second the motion.
So this pre-bid conference is hereby adjourned. Thank you.